Hello, this, this is Dr. Zahra Aghili. I am the Forensic Pathologist in Mahdia Hospital. In this presentation, I am going to talk about the research I did as a resident in Baharloo Hospital. I investigated poisoned disease patients at their and their treatment at the time of admission. A comparative clinical diagnostic examination of disease poisoned patient in Baharloo Hospital at the Tehran Medico-Legal Organization during 2014 until 2015. Background: acute poisoning is a common medical emergency. 1 to 5% of patients attending general hospital. Annually, approximately 3 million pesticide poisoning occur across the world, of which 220,000 results in death. The pattern of poisoning varies across different countries as they have different culture and races. The most common cases of adult poisoning in developed countries and in particular European countries are drug related. In some developing countries, pesticide poisoning is the most common type of poisoning. Consistency rate between clinical diagnosis and autopsy of patients with acute lethal poisoning has not been investigated in comprehensive manner. Some cases of acute poisoning that results in death do not reach a definite diagnosis at the bedside. They are beneficially diagnosed by the MedicoLegal organization. In fact, since the range of acute poisoning symptoms are very wide, and that poisoned cases attend general hospital, medical legal centers function better than medical centers in identifying the definite cause of death in acute lethal case. The goal of this study is a comprehensive analysis of clinical diagnosis of deceased poisoned patient via autopsy and toxicology results of the medico-legal organization. Keep in mind the difference between different culture and communities in pattern of acute poisoning. The high percentage of poisoned patients in medical wards and certainly of medical legal diagnosis. Certainly of medical legal diagnosis. A comparative study of the diagnosis of clinically and medical legally based cases of poison seems necessary. Method: random systematic sampling was implemented. Samples were selected from all the patients admitted to Baharloo Hospital for poisoning between March 2014 and September 2015. The study population consisted of all of the poisoned cases admitted to Baharloo Hospital between March 2014 and September 2015, who died from poisoning and were referred to Kazakh Autopsy Hall for autopsy. Inclusion criteria: individual with an initial diagnosis of acute poisoning. This said individual this individual due to poisoning. those with medical records containing complete information in the hospital archive, those with samples sent to medical legal organization. The sample size was estimated at 97 with an alpha error of 5% and beta error of 20%. Researchers used the archive of the hospital and Kahrizak autopsy hall formation duration until the desired sample size was reached. Clinical symptom and examination, laboratory tests, clinical diagnosis, the curative measure taken, and the medication used were examined from the file. Finally, the researcher examined the forensic records of this individual, autopsy, toxicology, and in some cases, pathology results of these cases. The this is uh, These cases that were registered in the medical legal organization. The final cause of death based on autopsy and toxicology results were compared with the clinically the final cause of death based on autopsy and toxicology results was compared with the clinical symptom and diagnosis registered in Baharloo hospital files. The collected data were entered into SPSS 16. Frequency and frequency percentage were calculated for qualitative variable, and mean and standard deviation were calculated for quantitative variables. Data analysis evaluation in performed using Cohen's kappa coefficient. Results. Overall, 98 disease cases of acute poisoning were investigated. Overall, 98 deceased cases of acute poisoning were investigated. The mean age of the sample was 40.1 plus or minus 17.8 years. 25 patients were female with a mean age of 34.7 years, plus or minus 15.8 st. 73 patients were male with a mean age of 41.9 years, plus or minus 18.2 st. The most common cause of poisoning were drugs, 49%, followed by pesticide, 39%. The least common cause of poisoning was alcohol, 1%. Summary of poisonous factors. Table 1. Age and gender characteristic of acute poisoning patient in Baharloo Hospital. Most common poisonous drugs. Among men were opioid, 49%. Among women are analgesics, hypnotic, and antipsychotic, 8%. The youngest age affected was 17-year-old woman, 17 years old woman who had been poisoned with analgesic. The older age affected was a 48 years old man who had been poisoned with psychotropic substance. The most common cause of death based on hospital records was poisoning with the rice tablet, 39%, and high-dose opioid poisoning, 26%. The most common cause of death based on autopsy results were similar to the hospital records. The table below illustrates the cause of death based on hospital records and autopsy results separately. Table 2. Cause of death in hospital after acute poisoning based on hospital record and autopsy in Baharloo Hospital. Summary. The rate of consistency of the mentioned cause of death was 89.8% among of cases under study. Using Cohen-Kappa coefficient, the rate of agreement between the cause of death in hospital record and autopsy results was estimated at 0.744. Results. Pesticide poisoning is more prevalent among developing countries. Agriculture is more common and people have greater access to pesticide. In large of the prevalence of the type of poisoning, many countries have taken preventive measures in this respect. Countries like Sri Lanka have banned the use of older organophosphorus compounds since 1995, and nowadays they offer pesticide that have lower toxicity for humans. Results. In our study, the most common poisoning was with the rice tablet. Phosphate aluminum or rice tablet is one of the most commonly used pesticide for preserving rice and is practiced heavily in Iran. Its low price as well as its availability leading to intentional and unintentional acute poisoning and morbidity and mortality. Its usage for suicide purpose has been increased in recent years. Results. Rice tablets poisoning is more common in men. Rahbar et al. Observe 60 to 40 ratio of rice tablet poisoning among men and women, which is consistent with our finding. As earlier studies and our confirmed poisoning with this tablet is most prevalent among younger individual, mean age 31 years. The important point is the prevalence of rice tablet related poisoning is high as opposite to other type of poisoning. Takeaway. This matter calls regulation to limiting easy access to rice tablet in free market. Furthermore, the agricultural sector can educate the consumer of this pesticide on reducing unintentional poisoning with it. Results. The most common case for drug poisoning is opium. Similar to our finding, other studies have also reported this type of poisoning to be the most common type of drug poisoning. Note that some studies have reported opioid poisoning as the second most common type of drug poisoning. According to literature, mostly the individual affected with this type of poisoning are middle-aged men, a finding that is consistent with ours. Consistent with ours. Takeaway. This statistic indicated the easy access to high-dose opioid substance. The high prevalence of narcotic substance abuse in the country needs extensive, multisectoral, and comprehensive planning for reducing access to this substance. Thank you. Please send your question to z.aghili.t@gmail.com.